Hello, Internet. A couple of points about anger. First off, I want to say about anger, it's a natural but not essential experience, and I think that's a really important distinction because a lot of people, when it's suggested to them that they do something about the experience of anger, sort of have this response of like, oh, but you can't just never be angry. It's a perfectly natural human experience. And it is, right? But it doesn't mean it's essential to the human condition. It doesn't mean that a life led without anger in it is in some way lacking or is sort of a deprived experience. And it's been my experience that really the less angry I am, the more happy I am, the more fun I'm having. So it's something that you could definitely move towards less and less and less of and not feel a loss. So just a distinction to keep in mind. It is natural. It's an experience that we shouldn't get super upset or blame ourselves for having, but it's not essential, so you can let it go and still live a fulfilled life. With that, like I'm in between clients right now, I just wanted to get a quick one out, right? Didn't even have time enough at home to put the robe on. I want to talk about two dumb reasons to become angry, right? The first one is getting mad because somebody is attempting to make you mad. This is one I've never understood in my entire life. I think that I am by nature just a troll. As a young child, I remember sitting there going, this is very strange. These people seem to be allowing me to upset their life experience. Let me pull on this thread and see what this means. And so I just piss off everybody around me. And eventually that was trained out of me, or I trained myself out of it. I don't know. But I realized that's not nice. But a lot of people don't have whatever set of experiences it was that made me stop doing that. And so they keep striving to piss people off. And, we're all told don't feed the trolls when we're on the internet, but in life as well, it's not a good reason to get upset. It seems to be that people respond to that as an affront, that the very fact that somebody would take advantage of them, their vulnerability, and strive to make them have an unpleasant experience is a reason to have an unpleasant experience. And it's not. It's no good at all. And the net effect is, if you approach the world that if somebody is trying to make you mad, that's a good reason to get mad, then what you're doing is you're handing the keys of the kingdom over to the worst subset of the human population. You're saying, hey, what's going on? I'm making the most asinine among us responsible for my well-being. And that's not a good plan. If you make it known that you will get mad when people try to make you mad, then people will come out of the woodwork to make you mad. So don't do it, right? Now, it's not as simple as that, right? Because if you have had that pattern of behavior in the past, then you need to become aware of it, make a plan, try to execute the plan, fail to execute the plan, and go through an entire cycle where you sort of taper down that behavior. You make it less and less and less likely that having someone attempt to make you mad will make you mad over time. So it's something to strive for, not something you can just turn off. The other really bad reason to get angry is because somebody else is angry with you. And this is fascinating to me because I run into this a fair amount as a person who's pretty committed to not being angry. Sometimes it happens, but most of the time when people do get mad at me, and let's be fair, sometimes I give people good reasons to be mad at me, I don't get mad at them, which makes them more mad, ultimately. And it's this interesting sort of trust, like this it's almost like a network of trust, right? That if I get mad at you, you have to get mad at me, and then we are sort of equally disadvantaged in this situation. And so it's very, very much an affront to decline to disadvantage yourself in a conflict by getting angry when somebody else has already taken the initiative to make sure that this is not going to go well. So that's something to be aware of. There is social backlash to not getting angry when people are getting angry, but it's a much more pleasant experience to have all of your faculties at your disposal when a situation has gotten heated, right? When you can keep your cool, when you can behave yourself in a way that you are going to be able to look back on in the future and be pleased with, that's much nicer than blowing your top and then having some unfortunate interaction with somebody that you go, ooh, that was not cool. I wish that hadn't happened. And that happened to me at one point. We had a household dispute with a roommate, and that roommate's boyfriend came over and yelled at me, which I found fascinating as like a signaling behavior. So I'm just sitting here with my, sort of anthropological hat on, like, oh, this is very interesting. And he feels he needs to do this to make the appropriate demonstration for his girlfriend and whatnot. That's cool, whatever. But one of my friends then who had witnessed this was like, dude, how are you just chilling there with this guy in your room calling you a bitch and that's okay? And my response to that was, well, like, when you are in a verbal confrontation, everybody really starts that off unarmed. And people only get the weapons that you hand to them, right? If you make it clear that a certain line of discussion or argument upsets you, then you have opened up an attack surface and they can use that to attack you, right? But if you're completely unwilling to get upset, then they don't have any weapons to attack you with. And so it can't become a hostile thing unless they're willing to escalate it to the use of force, because it's just, okay, sure. But if you feel the need to say that about me, that's cool. How can we come to a working understanding here? So people cannot unilaterally escalate sort of the emotional stakes of a verbal confrontation. You have to participate in that escalation. You have to open the door for them to hurt you in some way. So why would you want to do that? Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. And that is what you are doing. You're arming your opponent if you believe that someone being mad at you is a good reason to become mad yourself. So again, that's something that you have to analyze in your own life. To what extent does this play a part? And if it is playing a part, come up with a plan for those situations. Try to execute on the plan the next time it comes up. Discover all the ways to fail to execute on that plan, and slowly but surely grow towards reducing the prevalence of that in your experience. So two silly reasons to get angry we've talked about here. If Steve's trying to make you mad, don't do his work for him by getting mad. All right? And if Steve's mad at you, okay, he just unilaterally put himself at a disadvantage. Why should you even the playing field? And in all cases, just keep in mind that if you do get mad, okay, that's natural, but that is not essential. And you can move away from that in your life and you're going to have a happier human experience. So that's it. There's some bad reasons to get mad. Don't do them.